Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, call the cops, he says. Petty revenge on driver tailgating me. Boomer doesn't understand tech. Terrible manager can't find the smell after trying to steal $4,000 from me. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Call the cops, he says. There's a small parking lot next to my wife's salon. Only 3 spots at one end. These 3 spots are right up front and highly fought over because of the busy check cashing place next door. I pull into one of the 3 and get my kids, and just as I'm putting my rig in reverse, a guy pulls in with his little pickup truck and double parks right behind me. I pop out and give him a "Hey dude, WTF?" And he tells me to call the cops as he walks into the check cashing place. My rig has a pretty good turn radius, so I was able to back out after a couple tries. As I pull along next to his truck, I grab the bag of Doritos of the seat next to me and crunch it up real good and proceed to fling the tiny chips all over his truck. Bed, cab, and hood, tiny crumbs were everywhere. He chooses this moment to pop out of the check cashing place and yells, "Hey, I saw that." I leaned back out the window as I drove off and told him call the cops just as the first of the seagulls descended onto his truck. Sure, not the best way to handle it. Petty revenge on driver tailgating me. Not sure if this is quite the sub for this. Do direct me elsewhere if there's a more fitting sub. I worked nights for over a year. The route home took me on a rural, 1-lane highway. No street lights, lots of curves, lots of trees, lots of deer. The speed limit on this stretch is 55 miles per hour. Almost everyone goes 65, but I had noticed cops cracking down on people speeding on that road, so I stopped pushing the speed limit so much. I was on my way home, tired after a 12-hour overnight shift. It was pitch black out, no stars or moon because of cloud cover. I mean, it was dark. But there was no one else on the roads at that time. Still, I didn't want to deal with deer or drive too fast on the winding roads while tired, so I kept my speed pretty close to the speed limit. A car pulls up behind me. Rides my tail. Flashing his lights, making like he wants to pass. Now, there's no shoulder, so I can't just pull over and let him go. Also, there's no one else out on the roads at this hour and hasn't been for the whole drive. He could easily pass me. So I slow down. He keeps on my tail, despite being on a straightaway where he could easily pass me. I set my cruise control at exactly 55 miles per hour and decide to engore him, because I'm petty like that. I was going 58, almost 60 on the straightaways, but not anymore. You gonna be an ass, despite having ample opportunity to pass, that's on you, dog. As soon as we get to a no passing zone, as you do, he apparently decides he's had enough and floors it, zipping around me. Finally. Moments later, I see flashing lights in my rear view. A police car pulls around me and pulls over the impatient driver. Boy, am I glad I kept it at the speed limit. Boomer doesn't understand tech. This happened about 10 years ago. There was a Karen that had been with the company for nearly 15 years. Her title was project manager, but she was really more of an office admin, and various internal projects would get pushed to her. These were things to help improve how the office worked, but nothing critical. One of these projects was actually deemed to be important and it was reassigned to me. She hated this and stonewalled me all the time. It caused the project to be delayed, and I was getting crap from some of the executives because of this. When I commented that it was difficult to get information from Karen, she became super sweet and said she was bending over backwards to help me. I didn't understand the project, etc. I powered through anyway. But then there was a round of layoffs and she was one of them. Due to her time with the company, she received a 3-month severance and extended benefits. It was weird, but the company essentially cut monthly severance checks instead of paying them out all at once. But she also had to sign an NDA and non-disparagement agreement on the exit, as well as confirm that she had handed over all company materials and files. I went to go grab some files related to the project and everything was gone. Karen had deleted everything. This was before using things like Teams, Google Drive, etc. Everything was on a shared network drive, so it wasn't super easy to get the backup. But Boomer Karen was the type that used her work email for all her personal accounts, including LinkedIn. It was also company policy that the emails of departed employees would be forwarded to their department heads for a few months. Using this knowledge, I went to LinkedIn and sent a message. "Hi Karen, I heard about your departure. I hope you can use the time to take the vacation you talked about. I went to grab some of the files but noticed they were missing. Do you have backups you could share?" When she responded, it also went to her old email, and thus to the department head. Don't pretend to be nice. I wouldn't be surprised if you helped me get fired. Good luck finding any of those files. I deleted everything. Screw you. Well, when that got forwarded to HR that she had put in writing that she had deleted everything, it was determined that this violated the severance agreement. All severance checks were immediately stopped. Oh, so sorry, Boomer. Terrible manager can't find the smell after trying to steal $4,000 from me. I worked at a national restaurant chain with a GM that was a turd. He consistently lied about everything, lied about bonuses, lied about benefits, etc. all the time. I quit after he told me that I owed the company over $4,000 in insurance premiums. The offer for management was 0% employee contribution, but we got to the middle of the year and the budget was not looking good. We were losing employees and customers at an alarming rate, but the GM would not change food order quantities because we need to be ready when we bounce back, and food cost went through the roof. I came to work and he said, "I have bad news. We looked at benefits and insurance will no longer be company funded as of January 1st. January 1st, next year? No, this year. Okay, well then I'll cancel it and just stay on my wife's insurance. I only took it because it was free to me and would help with co-pays and coverage gaps." That's fine, but we still will be collecting the past due premiums to the start of this year. You can't do that. Actually, we can. Smirk. I left for the day, seethed in violent anger, and went to the grocery store on my way back in. Cue revenge. We had a weird desk drawer that did not go all the way to the back of the desk. It was a modified countertop and the drawers were not the full depth of the counter. One drawer had a file cabinet under it. I bought a can of sardines in mustard sauce, took off the lid, and sneaked it onto the file cabinet behind the drawer. Then, I handed him my keys and quit on the spot, with a warning that if he tried to garnish my last paycheck, it will mean trouble for you assholes, beware. This was 2002. Last week I was at a bar and the manager was a former co-worker from Shithole Restaurant Incorporated. She said that after several days, the smell was so bad that the managers had to start doing their work at a booth, because no one could stand to be in there. Ultimately, they decided a rat had died in the wall and brought in remediation experts to start tearing open walls. After just a few minutes, they came out with the nastiest, oldest, grossest wad of biomass and said, "Here's your problem." The file cabinet had to be replaced as it was wooden and the stink juice had soaked into it. She asked if I remembered that smell that started just before I quit, but I had no memory of it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.